Let me proceed towards Mr. Nabil. Mr. Nabil, when we talk about, there are two terms that we have recently seen being developed when we talk about Fitna al-Khawarij, the banned Taliban Pakistan, the Fitna al-Hindustan, the proxy groups which are being used by India with impunity. They are financing them in order to create that instability here in Pakistan, most particularly through Balochistan. As per multiple media reports, this dastardly act that happened in the federal capital was claimed by the splinter group of IS. What does that mean now? Do we understand another group has turned out to be a challenge for Pakistani security forces now at this particular point in time? And what does that actually reflect about the growing or the spread of the threat on the part of Islamic State? We've seen a number of reports by the United Nations, especially the Sanctions Monitoring Committee of the United Nations Security Council, that talk about that particular threat that actually can not only prove to be a threat for the regional countries, but globe at large as well.
So the terrorist attack was claimed by Islamic State Pakistan province, which was breakaway from the Islamic State Khorasan province in early 2019. So again, this militant group has in the past has conducted 4 militant attacks in Islamabad and Rawalpindi, which was of very small scales. This attack, which was one of the deadliest in the Islamabad's history, points out this fact that this group has this operational capability to launch such attacks. And again, as General Zahid has pointed out, the one major objective was to again exploit the sectarian fault line in the country, and the second was to grab international evidence, because attacking the federal capital at a time when foreign dignitaries was visiting the country, it was just to point out that the sense of security which the Pakistanis has is not there. And again, we have the capability to target the capital of the city as well. So again, it is not something which is restricted to the Khyber Pakhtunkhwa Balochistan. We have this potential to again identify and target the federal capital as well.
If they're trying to prove that they've got that potential and the capacity, so what could be the possible measures or the strategies the authorities in Pakistan must be adopting at this particular point in time? What are your recommendations?
Again, the one thing which I think the state authorities should focus primarily is on preventive measures. That preventive mechanism should be there. Or in most of the cases, we have seen that there are intelligence reports before high-profile attacks. But again, because of the fact that there are a lot of intelligence reports and alerts about this, and there are capacity building issues, you cannot like chase down every intelligence lead.
Okay, so here is that particular scenario. We saw that Operation Azm-e-Istehkam, which was primarily based on the intelligence-based operations, right? And we have seen hundreds of those successful intelligence-based operations carried out in different areas of the country. But don't you think that the provenance, the origin, or the source should be actually taken into consideration? And that is not only the responsibility when it comes to Pakistan, but also of the international community, because looking at this attacker of this particular dastardly act, he got training in Afghanistan. Now, when it comes to the infiltration of such elements, even there had been instances of Afghan nationals being involved in carrying out heinous acts here in Pakistan. When it comes to the border management, Pakistan has been vigilant. We've seen also that expression of interest on the part of the US to facilitate Pakistan in order to have that very capacity when it comes to better border management. What about the interim Afghan authorities?
Again, when it comes to interim Afghan government, again, after the fall of Kabul to this interim Afghan government, again, there was a hope in Pakistan that, again, the Afghanistan will not be used as for anti-Pakistan service activities. But unfortunately, in the 4 years, we have seen that, again, the terrorist groups which are Pakistan-centric have continued to flourish over there. And right now, again, as the UN reports have pointed out, there are more than 20 terrorist groups which are active in Afghanistan, which are not only hostile to Pakistan, but China, Russia, and other Central Asian countries. So it pointed out this fact that, again, the border management, we have closed down our side of Afghan border for almost 4 months. And again, it showcased this fact that we have exhausted all the options in order to convince them that they have to look upon their side of the things, that they have allowed these groups to flourish over there. Again, it is important to understand this fact that 75% of Afghanistan population is unemployed. Again, it is very easy for hostile foreign intelligence agencies to, again, recruit somebody and to, again, pay them some amount and to carry out activities, not only in Pakistan, but again, the other countries in the Afghanistan neighborhood. So again, it is important for interim Afghan government. Again, the international pressure should be there. Again,
what could be the manifestation of the international pressure? This is the term that could be used with such a convenience that international community needs to pressurize, needs to impress upon the de facto authorities in Afghanistan. They've got the commitment to fulfill as per the Doha Accord. What could be the possible manifestations at this point in time? Because over the last 4 years, we have seen a pattern of denial on the part of the Afghan authorities, the de facto authorities, and that the situation is getting worse with every single passing day. What could be the possible manifestations of that pressure?
So again, when we talk about international community, it's like Pakistan, China, Tajikistan, and again, all the regional countries, they need to, again, hinge this fact that, for example, China has been doing a lot of economic investment in Afghanistan. So it should be linked with the security protection, that again, if you're going to ensure the security of our citizens over there, and again, security of the persons who are there, then the economic dividends will be coming out there. Unfortunately, the economic dividends in the past 4 years have not come down to the common Afghan people. And because of this, again, there is this resentment, which is unfortunately exploited by hostile foreign intelligence agencies to target not only Pakistan, but again, other neighboring countries in the region as well.
Mr. Nabil, one question that's haunting in whenever the responsibility of the entire equation is discussed, we've seen the condemnations from the major powers also. Pakistan was the frontline ally in the war on terror for a number of decades. Also, the kind of efforts and the kind of sacrifices it has rendered in that particular regard. Do we understand that this sort of condemnation or the verbal acknowledgement of Pakistan's efforts would continue? What should be expected when it comes to the practical means of help and support from the major powers when it comes to dealing with this particular menace?
Again, the important thing is that Pakistan, because of now the global relevance of Pakistan has increased because of our foreign policy approach. So it's high time that Pakistan should use all the tools, apart from the connected action is there, but we need to use the legal tools, diplomatic tools, again, to convince, again, terror financing is one of the major reasons these groups exist. If we are able to cut down the terror financing, because again, now there is informal mechanisms for these groups to collect the funds. Cryptocurrencies are one of the ways which these groups now effectively use. Online radicalization is one of the ways. So Pakistan need to again work with international partners to ensure that again monitoring of this cryptocurrency wallets as to how these groups are able to collect these funds. Again, the cyberspace is another area where the Pakistan need to work with international partners in order to do not give the space, because in the recent past what we have seen, these groups are primarily using cyberspace for recruitment, for terror financing, other means, and because of the fact that there is unfortunately not effective mechanisms over there, these groups are able to flourish. And again, the oxygen for these groups in order to survive is the activities they're doing on cyberspace, because of the fact that they're able to broadcast the propaganda videos. Just to give you an example, BLA in the last, since 2018, they've published 92 propaganda videos. Again, there was a time when they used to capture low quality videos from mobile phones, but now they have come up with time with, again, better quality videos.
Aren't there any inbuilt checks when it comes to the digital platforms when somebody is posting or publishing such a video?
Again, there are inbuilt check-in mechanisms, but again, when it comes to South Asia, again, there are very less moderators who, again, primarily focuses on the propaganda. Because if you look upon BLA, almost 50% of the propaganda videos are in the local languages, which again, when you talk about the content moderators sitting at the international technology firms, they don't have those content moderators who can see through this propaganda. So again, Pakistan needs to work out on this mechanism with the international power to deny them the space on the social media and other cyberspace platforms.
Mr. Fahd Nabil, Chief Executive Officer of Geopolitical Insights, thank you very much for being with us on today's Unfold. We really appreciate that.